Coach, we're going to get started with a few questions for you. W&J has won 8 or more games in every full season since 2012. There are just 6 programs in Division III football to do so. What do you think has allowed this program to be so consistent during that time?
Well, another thing, first, thank you to St. Vincent, too. It's great to be here at the second best NFL team in Pennsylvania. Not even close. I look at that 2 ways. In one way, it makes me proud because we've struggled a lot. You know, we won 8 games, but we've struggled a little bit the last 2 or 3 years. I don't think we played to our capabilities. I'll take the full blame of all that. When I didn't even know about that stat, I saw it on social media, and I had no idea. When I saw it, I'm looking at it, I'm like, gosh, wait a second, we're one of those 6 teams. So that makes me proud. Some of the things that we've done. I think we're the only school in here that's won multiple playoff games. We've been to the NCAA playoffs 13 times in the 20 years I've been the head coach. So, and that's the goal. It makes me proud of some of the stuff we've done. But it also, you look at the other teams, and those teams have been really successful in the playoffs the last couple of years, and we haven't. So it also kind of humbles you a little bit and makes you, want to, work a little bit harder to get back to where we think this program should be, and that is in the NCAA playoffs.
Let's talk quarterback for a little bit. Colton Jones took over the reins as your starter late in 2021. What makes Colton a strong player, and what are your expectations for him as your team enters camp this year?
Well, number one, Colton's going to get pushed. I'm not just going to hand him the starting quarterback job. One of the, I'm going to answer this question with some other statements. Jacob Pugh's going to push him. We believe in JV football games at Washington and Jefferson College. We believe in them very, very strongly. Jake Pugh and our freshman last year, one of the best freshman classes we've recruited. You just didn't see him play. We beat, and Jeff Dart's going to be watching this, and I know my phone's going to be ringing. We beat Mount Union in a JV game last year, and you might be like, oh, who cares? Okay, well, we had played them 2 straight times every year for 20 years, and we'd lost them the first time. We were on a 41-game losing streak. Our kids stormed the field like we won the national championship. I was embarrassed, okay, that they stormed the field, but Jake Pugh's going to push Colton Jones, and I'm going to give him that chance. But when we made the switch to quarterback, in the fourth quarter of the Westminster game and put Colton in, we knew he was talented. We knew he was very talented in terms of a passer, and he's as every bit good a passer as I've had since Bobby Swallow. Back in 2007, I know some of you guys in here, okay, Gino remembers Bobby. Andrew remembers Bobby because Andrew was a damn good quarterback, but Bobby was an All-American quarterback. So, and Colton's every bit as good of a passer as Bobby was. So we're excited about what Colton can bring. He can throw the football. He's got good feet. He played against, when we played Westminster, Grove City, Carnegie Mellon, that defensive line, and then Brockport in that 4 out of 5 game stretch. That to play against those 4 types of defenses, which are all elite nationally, really gave him a lot of confidence and showed what he can do against speed. I thought he played well in the Brockport game. Maybe the score wouldn't show up, but he moved around, made plays. So we're excited what Colton's going to bring. He's a good leader. He's only a sophomore eligibility-wise, but yeah, we're going to let Jake Pugh push him.
Justin Huss ranked among the best return specialists in all of Division III last year. What's Justin bring to the table on special teams? What's Justin also bring to the table on offense when he's got the ball in his hands?
Well, on special teams, he's dynamic. You saw it, and we only let him return punts for 2 games, and what he did is return 1 for a touchdown. I just hope he can catch it. That's half the battle with him on punts. But obviously on special teams, if you kick to him, pick your poison. Kick to him, and teams in here know what happens. Don't kick to him and give us the ball on the 40-yard line. So he's a tremendous weapon. This is Justin's team, too. I will say Huss. He's the number 1 weapon on our team, and no one in this, Tanner doesn't even know this. I'm saying Justin's the number 1 weapon on our team. I got a phone call on Monday afternoon that I wasn't expecting at all. a great phone call for our program, and that Joey Carroll is going to come back and play next year. And did you know that? Mm-hmm. Okay. And for those of you that don't know, Joey was a star running back, All-American kick and punt returner in 2019, and he suffered a terrible injury in our bowl game at Brockport. He broke his femur, and I think it was more of a mental thing with Joey coming back. But even with the addition of Joey returning, okay, and because we don't know how he's going to be able to run and things like that yet, and we might even play him on defense because he was an all-conference defensive back. But even with the addition of Joey, this is Justin's team. We got to do a better job of getting him the ball when a young man touches the ball. Like the amount of times it is in the average he touched it, was unbelievable. The offensive coordinator at W&J should got demoted, and who is that? I think that's me. Okay, but I should have gotten him the ball more last year. I didn't. That won't be a problem this year. Now, can he touch it 30 times a game as an inside the tackle runner? I don't know. Okay, but he's going to touch it a lot. Okay, and people are going to have to know where he is because I think he's the most explosive, skilled player in the conference when his hands are on the football.
Alex Keith and Drew Ehrlich both returned after earning first-team All-PAC status a season ago. Talk about Alex, talk about Drew, their talents, and how they're going to help lead the defense this season.
Well, first of all, their talents is number one is leadership skills. Everyone's going to, hey, we did this in the off season, we got bigger, and we worked out in the summer. And every coach says that. Come on, and you're supposed to say that. I'll be upfront and honest with you. These guys did our program, not in terms of, hey, you're going to do this amount of sets and these amount of box jumps and plyometrics, but our players last year were disappointed in our season, and led by Drew and Alex, they came up with an accountability program. They came up with a strength program, the times that they were going to lift. Okay, the groups, that was them. Okay, I had nothing to do with it. So in terms of holding people accountable, Alex and Drew are tremendous leaders. They're also really good football players. Drew, didn't really come out of nowhere. Okay, we had a good spring season, but he was what I thought was one of the best safeties in the conference. Made plays all over the field for us. Can defend a pass deep and make a tackle 2 yards in the backfield. And then Alex has a chance to be a dominant off defensive lineman for us. I think he was first team all conference, and I put him right up there with Braden at Westminster, who's one of the best players in our conference, obviously, and the young men from Carnegie Mellon. Jeez. Okay, you're back. You didn't graduate already? All right, no, senior. Okay, I thought you were done last year. But I'll put Alex up with those young men, and those are really good football, All-American type football players. So we're hoping with the combination of them that we're very good on defense. Now we're going to be young, okay, and we're going to have a lot of new starters. Like if you look at the people have returning starters, this team has 9. This team has 9 on offense, 8 on defense. We have 4, 5 on offense, 4 or 5 on defense. But those are fun years to coach. And we're really looking forward. And like I told you, our young players were really good last year. We played 8 JV games. We played well. So we're the young kids that you're not going to hear about. You're not going to even ask me about today, which is fine. You'll learn about them hopefully real quick.
Coach, this is the last question I have for you, and I want to give you a chance to. I can remember Joey Nichols. I think a lot of us in this room have been around since Joey graduated in 2003. He will be inducted into the W&J Athletics Hall of Fame on September 23rd this year. Talk a little bit about Joey, what he accomplished as a football player, and what was it like to coach him?
Joey Nichols. That shows you how long I've been here, and I don't even know who remembers him. But Dr. Cordelia, I think you remember Joey Nichols, because in your game your senior year, his first start, he rushed for 290 on you, and you were an awesome player. But he was a freshman in his first start against Waynesburg, and I think, yeah, 99. And Joey rushed for 270 yards in the game against Waynesburg, and he just took off. Joey, that's a good question because it just talks about all the great players that have played at W&J in the last however many years. Okay, Joey obviously was a terrific player and is now a great member of the community in Brook, West Virginia. Has 2 boys that are wrestlers, but it also shows you that the type of players that we've had that have turned into great young men. I've already mentioned Bobby, and it shows you how long I've been at W&J, and there's just the amount of people. And I know you didn't ask this, but it also shows you, 10 years ago today, I was here with Tim McNerney. Mm-hmm. Okay, 10 years ago today, I was here with Tim. and there's a young man who was the heart and soul of our program and is no longer with us. And that, you wish you would have seen what type of man he would have become because he was on his way. But it's just, talking about Joey, talking about Tim shows you how long I've been there, but it also shows you, I'll go back to something about Tim too, because it did happen 10 years ago. It shows you the type of men that are in our conference, because we have these men that are coaching against us. We coach against each other on Saturday afternoons, and you're looking across the field at them, but then you give them a hug afterwards, and all 10 of them are terrific men. And I remember one thing about Tim: the person that set up our counseling, okay, when Tim passed away, is sitting in this room, okay, and I'm looking right at him, Gino DeMarco. Okay, he's the one who, and that just shows you about the type of man that are in this room, and the type of man that Gino is too. So that as a 10-year anniversary, I want to say, Gino, thank you again for that, and that was a tough time. But all the men in this room are terrific people.
Coach, thank you.
Even Briggs.
Watch Ty Sunday.
So you didn't have time to get pizza on it. Come see me after lunch.
Tanner, this is what we call going off the rails sometimes. Tanner, I have a couple questions for you. The W&J defensive unit has developed into a pretty strong group under defensive coordinator Vince Lavara. The group returned several key contributors from a season ago. What's been the key to success for a defense that returns some of the players we talked about, the Drew Ehrlichs, the Alex Keiths, keys to success for your defense?
Really, having those guys is huge because they are just playmakers. In a big-time game, you can count on them to be there and make a play. Really, just executing, and everyone kind of bought into, we were talking about our accountability program, and the leadership that they brought was so huge that I think that helps the defense come closer because they really let's go watch film, let's go do this, that, etc. But yeah, they really bought in, and I'm excited for this season and what we did last year, but I think we can be better.
You earned all PAC honorable mention last year. As a 3-year starter, what are some goals that you, along with your defensive teammates, have set going into your senior season?
Obviously, always win a PAC championship now, but we have to be more disciplined now, I believe. Sometimes we would just get down on ourselves when things weren't going our way, and overall just be a more physical team and be able to fight more and battle longer.
Your brother Troy will join the W&J team this fall as a freshman. He put together a strong fall last year as a running back at Bethel Park. Talk a little bit about what it's going to be like to have your brother on the team with you this season.
I'm really excited. This is the first time I get to play together, and he's a football player, man. He's young, but he's going to make noise this year. I promise you that. He's electric, and I'm excited because this has kind of been our dream ever since we were younger. We always talked about it, but we had that separation of 4 or 5 years, whatever it is, and now I can come back and play with him. It's cool. It's very cool.
Tanner, my last question for you. W&J is slated to open the 2022 season in exactly 1 month against John Carroll. The Presidents went on the road last year to pull off a victory against the Blue Streaks. Talk about last year's game and talk about the anticipation to begin the season again against John Carroll.
As always, John Carroll's a very good team, very good program. Last year, we ended up pulling out the win in a very close game. They're physical, tough, well-coached, everything. But, we're expecting the same results this year and hopefully come out with the win.
Coach, Tanner, thank you, gentlemen. As I said, W&J will open its season on Saturday, September 3rd against John Carroll.